It started on a Tuesday. Maria, a physical therapist, had been home with Olivia for 9 weeks when German, the family's German shepherd, began to change. Not dramatically. Not in a way that made anyone reach for the phone immediately or say something is wrong out loud. Just quietly, the way that real problems begin, at the edge of ordinary life, in a place where nobody is paying close attention. The German shepherd paced between the bedroom and the kitchen every 20 minutes. That was how it started. Maria noticed it on the third day. By the fifth day, Carlos had noticed it too. They talked about it over dinner while Olivia slept in the next room, and they came to a reasonable conclusion. Maria called the vet and was told it was probably stress from the move. It made sense. It fit the pattern. They were not careless people. They were careful, attentive parents who had read the parenting books and baby proofed the house and knew when to call the pediatrician and when to wait. They waited. On the eighth day, the behavior escalated. What had been intermittent became constant. The German shepherd stopped sleeping through the night. Maria would find she standing in the hallway at 2 in the morning, not pacing, not whining, just standing, facing Olivia's door, still waiting for something that Maria could not identify. She told Carlos she was starting to feel uneasy. He said he understood, but that they should give it another few days. They gave it 2 more days. On the 10th night, the German shepherd did something it had never done before. Not once in the years they had owned she. She pressed her entire weight against Olivia's bedroom door from the inside. When Maria opened the door at 3 a.m., she found the animal standing over Olivia's small form, not touching, just positioned, deliberate, certain. Maria stood in the doorway for 4 seconds. Then she turned on the light. What she saw made her reach for her phone before she had fully processed what she was looking at. The details will not be repeated here because they belong to the family and to Olivia's medical file. What matters is that emergency services arrived within 9 minutes. What matters is that the on call physician later told Maria, standing in a hospital corridor while monitors beeped steadily from the room behind her, that the specialist said this was exactly the kind of thing that gets missed until it cannot be missed anymore. The doctor said one more thing. She said, whatever your animal was doing, it was right. The cause turned out to be gas leak through kitchen wall, silent, invisible to any human sense. The kind of thing that builds without announcement and resolves without mercy, if nothing intervenes. The German shepherd had been detecting it, not learning it, not being trained for it, simply detecting it the way animals detect things that exist beneath the threshold of human awareness, in the chemical signature of breath, in the micro vibrations of a building, in the frequencies of air that carry information we have given up the ability to read. Maria sat in the hospital for 6 hours. She sat with her hands in her lap and thought about the 9 days she had watched the German shepherd behave strangely and had found a reasonable explanation every single time. She thought about Maria called the vet and was told it was probably stress from the move. She thought about how certain she had been. She had been wrong. Carlos arrived at the hospital at 4 a.m. They didn't talk much. They sat together in the corridor and watched the clock and waited for the physician to come back out and give them news they could carry home. The news was good. Olivia recovered fully. The treatment was straightforward once the cause was identified. The attending pediatrician used the word fortunate twice in a single sentence. which is not something physicians do unless they mean it. When they brought Olivia home 3 days later, the German Shepherd was waiting at the front door, not excited, not performative, just there, in the way that a thing is there when it has been waiting because it knew to wait. Maria knelt on the floor. She put her arms around the animal's neck. She didn't say anything out loud. Some things don't need to be said. The German Shepherd has slept in Olivia's room every night since. Maria checks in each morning and finds them in the same configuration. The animal positioned at the foot of the small bed, watching the door, doing what animals do when they have accepted a job of watching over someone who cannot watch over themselves. If you have ever dismissed a pet's strange behavior as anxiety or jealousy or stress, stop. Watch it more carefully. Ask a different question. The answer you find might be one you needed a long time before you fought to look for it. Weeks later, when the house had returned to its ordinary rhythm, the parents sat on the living room floor, with the animal beside them, and thought about what it had cost to almost make the wrong choice. The number was too large to calculate, so they didn't try, they just stayed on the floor. They stayed there until the animal put its head in their lap, and they put their hand on its back. And the room got quiet enough that there was nothing left to do except be grateful for the specific version of the story that had an ending like this one.